Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 549th Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this is a Barbarian invasion battle fought on a custom map, and this has got the potential to be a fantastic battle. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member First Prime, the host of this battle, and he has brought the Roman Eastern Empire Rebels. Okay, now remember, we've talked about these before, the Plumbartarii. These Roman troops throw metal tipped darts, and they've got a long range, and they throw at least 20 each. So these guys can be absolutely devastating, and First Prime always brings a lot of these units in his army, so he can actually devastate enemy armies before they even come into hand-to-hand fighting. If you notice here, he's got one Eagle unit here, the Comitatenses. Okay, it's a 122 man unit. Plus, he's got his infantry general. So he's got an Eagle unit and his infantry general to give morale to his troops. Quick look at his cavalry. If you notice, he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. And these are the Equitae Clibanarii. And those rolling pins that they carry, remember, those are effective against armor maces. And these cavalry are so tough, you can leave them in a melee fighting infantry. You don't have to pull them out because they're so good. Okay, also here, First Prime brings a religious unit. Remember, we talked about this before. Morale is so important on Barbarian Invasion, maybe even more important than RTW. So you need to bring a religious unit if you can to give your troops an extra morale bonus, keep them fighting longer. So I think that's a pretty good army there. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Legion 22, who has bought the Sarmatian faction. I see he brings his faction a lot. It's like his faction of choice, and he's gone for the Bosphoran infantry spearmen here. Okay, so of course with their spears they are anti-cavalry units here, but they're also good against infantry as well, and you'd be surprised on how tough they are. And he's got his archers here are the Sarmatian Virgin Foot archers. These girls have got a long range and can do a lot of damage, so don't underestimate these. Of course, they're not armoured, so they can be killed quite easily, but they are very good archers. And he's got a Sarmatian noble cavalry there. So that's a pretty good army there, I think, for the Sarmatians. And it'll be interesting to see how well Legion 22 does with them. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Conan, the co-founder of the Brotherhood, and he has bought the Franks faction. Now, he's got an unusual army build here, because if you notice here, he's got 120 man levy spearman unit. Now these are cheap, like only just maybe above the peasants, but they'll soak up enemy pilots as good as any other unit, and of course they carry spears, so they're anti-cavalry as well. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how he uses those, but he's gone for his infantry here. Like, he's gone for the Horde Chosen Swordsman. Now usually for the Franks, you usually bring those axe throwing Francisca Herban units. Obviously with their throwing axes, effective against armor axes, they're pretty good, but he hasn't gone for those. But he's gone for the Paladin Cavalry. Now remember, the biggest cavalry charge bonus in this game is 10, and these guys have got that 10 charge bonus for penetration and impact. Plus they got really good specifications as well. So make no mistake, these Paladins are really elite cavalry. So it'll be interesting to see how well Conan does with that Franks army during the course of the battle. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Roman Western Empire. Now I've mostly, in my army, I've got the Comitatenses, the big 122 man units. Okay, because I think these are good solid infantry, and they're all Eagle units, so there's a heck of a lot of morale going on with my infantry there. And I've only got about 3, I think it is, Plumbartarii units. As I say, the vast majority of my infantry are the big 122 man units. Of course, I've got a religious unit as well. As I said before, it's so important that you bring a religious unit if you can, to give your troops an extra morale bonus, as morale is so important on Barbarian Invasion. So there's our team. We've got First Prime with Rome. We've got Legion 22 with the Sarmatians. We've got Conan with the Franks, and myself with Rome. It's got potential to be a great battle. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Man 2, who has bought the Romano-British. And if you notice here, you'll see that he's got coastal levies. Now this unit is probably one above peasants there. They've got spears, so they're anti-cavalry, but they are a very cheap unit, but they'll soak up pilots as good as any other expensive unit. Then he's got the British Legionnaires. Now these infantry are extremely solid, tough infantry. They throw pilots as well, and let's say these British Legionnaires, really good solid infantry there. Now we'll have his Grail Knights hiding in the woods. Now remember, those Grail Knights are so good, you only get 32 of them per unit instead of the usual 54. Okay, that's because the Grail Knight specifications are so high. As I say, you only get 32 of them. And also you'll see here that he's bought a religious unit. As we said before, morale very, very important on Barbarian Invasion, so bringing a religious unit to keep your troops fighting longer, good tactical move there. So that's an interesting Romano-British army there. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman, who has bought the Slavs faction here. Now I'd just like to show you possibly the best foot archers in the game, and that are these guys here, the Steppe Raiders here. Now these Slav archers possibly, I think, are the best archers in the game. They've got long range, they do loads of damage, and they've got a big defense on them as well. So as I say, you could be looking at the best foot archers in the game here, and it could do a lot of damage, especially from high up as well. You see he's gone Steppe heavy spearmen here, so these are his anti-cavalry units here, but they're also quite good against infantry. See them carrying their spears. And then he's gone for the Steppe Horde chosen warriors. These are the elite infantry. Look at their swords there. Can you see they've got a curved end there? So those swords are for cutting and slashing rather than stabbing. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do during the course of the battle. So that's an interesting Slavs army there. As I say, watch out for those archers. They can do a heck of a lot of damage. Their next teammate is a Brotherhood member, Lake Damon, who has bought the Roman Western Empire Rebels. If you notice there, he's got a lot of archers as well. I think he's got something like 7 archer units there. And a quick look at his infantry. And you can see he's got Plumbartrite. And if you notice, he's put 7 upgrades on. An experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack. If we just pull back a little bit there, you'll see there he's got 7 upgrades on there. And that's unusual in Barbarian Invasion because the Roman units are so expensive. Putting a stripe on can be very cost prohibitive. So it'll be interesting to see if that stripe makes a difference during the course of the battle. Even his combatant tenses, his 122 man units, to put a stripe on them is really expensive. So that's why I don't think he's got a great deal of infantry there, but he has got a lot of archers. So it'll be interesting to see how well that does during the course of the battle. And their last teammate is Brotherhood member Demon, who's bought his faction of choice, the Roman Eastern Empire. This is a faction he brings all the time. He's got a really good solid army there. And if you notice, the vast majority of his army are Plumbarturi. These guys that throw at least 20 missiles each, those metal tipped darts, and with a long range as well. So make no mistake, he's got a lot of firepower there. And he's gone for the Equitai Cataphractii. Okay, now these guys aren't effective against armor. You can see they carry spears rather than maces, but they still are pretty solid cavalry with really good specifications. So there's the enemy team there. Okay, and as I say, it's got the potential to be a really good battle. But I want to show you a tactical ground movement here, if you see what I mean. Now, my guess is here, the enemy troops are going to get up onto this hill here, this small hill. And then, of course, they'll have all the downhill bonuses. Their arrows and missiles will go a lot further, do a lot more damage if they pull in up there, and we'll have to attack uphill. This could be a real challenge. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, as we thought, the enemy now have occupied that small hill. Okay, with all the downhill advantages that gives them. Remember, those arrows from the archers will go further and do more damage. Their pilers and those metal-tipped darts will go further and do more damage. If you notice here, Legion has suffered already a lot of casualties there. If you notice here, can you see, because of the elevation there and the longer range that those enemy archers have got, you can see that Legion has lost a lot of his spearmen here as he's moving away from that small hill. You can see there the arrows still raining down on him here as he's trying to move out of range of those long range archers of the enemy there. But if you look, can you see he's left a trail of dead infantry there as he was trying to move away from those archers. Here you can see that Lake Damon has moved his archers forward there, probably with a view to try and shoot them as they're moving away, but he might have exposed his archers to a possible attack there. Right, now First Prime is here on his own. Now what's he going to do? Is he going to move over to the rest of his allies over there, as you can see? Okay, so you can see over there you got Legion, myself, and Conan have moved over there. Now First Prime is one of the most aggressive attacking players in the game. Is he going to move over to us so we can organise and see how we're going to attack, or is he going to attack uphill on his own? If you were a betting man, which way do you think he's going to go? Obviously he's going to come over to us, isn't he? He's not going to attack uphill on his own, is he? Oh, yes, it looks like he's going to attack uphill on his own here. So as I say, very brave. As I say, he's one of the most aggressive attacking players in the Brotherhood here. And as you can see, he's going to attack uphill by himself. and there's a heck of a lot of enemy troops already on that small hill ready to receive his attack. But you can see he's moving forward there, so he's going to have a lot of casualties now onto his troops, obviously, like we said, with the downhill bonus that the enemy have got. I think there's just one Roman infantry unit up there, infantry army up there that will be throwing missiles down on him. But you can see First Prime's already using his missiles there from his Plumbarterite, trying to inflict as many casualties on the enemy as he can. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So here you can see the Grail Knights. Remember we talked about these 32-man units that Man 2 had hiding in the woods. He's brought around the flank now. He's brought them out the woods. Looks like he's going to try and smash into the flank of First Prime here with those Grail Knights, those elite Grail Knights. But as I say, it'd be interesting to see what First Prime does. So as it said here, you can see First Prime pretty isolated here at the moment. And as I say, those Grail Knights may well try and smash into the flank of the First Prime's army there. But now you can see that my Red Roman army is moving forward, and you can see that the Grail Knights have pulled back. Now here you can see First Prime, as I say, the vast majority of his army are those Plumbarterite. Look at those metal tipped darts he's throwing in to the enemy. Okay, yeah, he's throwing uphill into them, but look, he is raining those effective against armor metal tipped darts onto the enemy troops there. So he really is going to be causing them a lot of casualties with the firepower that he's got in his army. If you look at Lake Damon's Roman cavalry here charging in downhill into First Prime's forward units there. I think he's routed one of them there, really trying to make the most of the downhill cavalry charge bonus that he will be getting there. But as I say, First Prime very aggressive, very attacking. As you can see, I'm moving my Roman army over here to help him. But just look at the firepower that his Plumbarteri are throwing into the enemy troops. Even though the enemy troops are on an elevated position there, make no mistake, he will be doing a lot of damage there with the sheer firepower that he's got. Okay, you can see my Red Roman army now has moved over here to help him. Let's just pause the game for a second. So as I say here, I've moved my army over here to try and support his attack. But as I say, you can see, look at all the enemy troops up on this elevated position. You've got Demons army, Roman army there coming in on First Prime's flank there. May well hit First Prime in the flank if he's not careful there. But as I say, you can see First Prime suffered a lot of casualties there. You can see the dead on the hill. And as I say, I've moved my Red Roman army over here to support him there. But don't make no mistake, I'll be getting a lot of missiles coming downhill against me as well. You can see Conan over there on the flank, and you can see Legion there as well with his Sarmatians, which I guess they'll move up through our armies towards the enemy troops there. But as I say, attacking uphill, even if it's only a small hill, is can be always a bit of a problem there. Okay, I'm starting to throw my missiles into those enemy troops up on the hill as well. And make no mistake, they will be replying. I'm throwing pilers and those metal tipped darts into those enemy troops there of Lake Damon's. The Western Empire Rebels army there of Lake Damon's there is taking a lot of damage there from my missiles. If you notice, I'm going to move up even closer to the enemy there. Obviously I want to try and get up as high as I can, because the lower I keep my troops, the more damage that they'll suffer from the downhill bonuses that the enemy troops will have there. Okay, if you just notice here, my spear wall on the front of my battle formation are spearmen. They're the Palatine Auxilia, and of course they're anti-cavalry. So if the enemy try charging cavalry into the front of my battle formation, they're going to run into anti-cavalry spearmen. So we'll see if they're going to do that. As I say, you can see Lake Damon's green army there, Roman green army, they're taking most of the missiles from my infantry, but make no mistake, he'll be replying as well. As I say, my Auxiliary Palatina, those anti-cavalry spearmen in their shield wall there should hold quite well against any cavalry attack that might come into us. You'll see First Prime has pulled back a little bit there because he was very aware of Demon's Roman army coming around his flank. And here you can see Conan bringing his Frankish army over. Now, I wonder what Conan's going to do with his army. If you were him, what would you do? Would you maybe take his entire army round the back of that small hill? Maybe take your army around here. Yeah. what do you think? Take that Frankish army around this area here with his cavalry and infantry, come around here and then attack the rear of the enemy troops. Is that something that you might do with the Frankish army, or do you feel you might get isolated if you do that and get hit by all those enemy troops? So it'd be interesting to see what Conan's going to do there. But as I say, you can see both First Prime and my army there are taking the missiles from the enemy troops at the moment. It looks like Conan's going to form up here on the flank. He may well look to maybe come up the flank there into the side of those enemy troops there. You can see I've moved my army forward again here, almost making contact with the enemy, with Lake Damon's enemy Roman troops there. But as I say, if you notice here, Conan's got some archers there as well. He'll probably be shooting arrows into the enemy troops as well. But as I say, I've moved forward now almost to make contact with the enemy troops, throwing more pilers into those enemy infantry there. As you can see, the pilers raining in on them, but make no mistake, they will be replying, and I will have pilers and those metal tipped darts coming in on my forward units there. As I say, those auxiliary Palatini spear shield wall that I've got in front of my main battle formation there, I'm hoping if the enemy try a downhill cavalry charge that those anti-cavalry spearmen will be able to neutralise it. Right, you can see here, I'm moving over a little bit. Can you see it? I'm charging my cavalry in there, and bang! I smash into the flank of that weakened enemy Roman unit there. You can see how my cavalry penetrating into those enemy troops there as I move my infantry forward as well. An aggressive attack there, trying to take out as many of those enemy weakened enemy units as I could there. Remember, the cavalry of this particular Roman faction is not that great. They're just ordinary cavalry really. They haven't got effective against armor maces or anything like that, but I managed to rout a couple of the enemy infantry there with that lightning cavalry attack. So I'm pleased with that there. Let's pause the game for a second. So as I say here, you can see Conan here may well decide to charge up here as well. Make no mistake, his archers will be shooting into the enemy flank there. And as I say, you've got Legion's infantry there, his Sarmatian infantry there, backing us up there, may well come through our infantry to help us neutralise any cavalry attack. Right, at this stage of the battle, can you see that Mantu's elite Grail Knights are charging forward, making the most of their slight downhill advantage there into my infantry. Let's say you got Demon here, he may well move forward to attack First Prime's infantry, and don't forget he's got those Cataphractii with their massive attack and massive specifications to throw into the battle as well. But as I say, at the moment here you can see that Mantu's Romano-British Grail Knights are charging into my infantry, and bang as I smash in there. But remember, I've got those anti-cavalry units at the front of my battle formation. Let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so I've got my auxiliary Palatina there, okay, which of course are our spear troops and our anti-cavalry, and that's why I put them on the front of my formation there, so that they can neutralise any cavalry attack here. So even though those Grail Knights are really elite knights, they're still coming up against anti-cavalry spearmen there, plus they've pushed through those into my infantry as well. But as I say, those anti-cavalry spearmen there will take the sting out of that massive cavalry attack there by Mantu. So once again there, try to make the most of a downhill advantage that they've got there, but luckily my infantry managed to hold there. And all the time, don't forget, I'll probably be throwing missiles into those enemy troops there as well. So as I say, you can see the enemy troops here up on the elevated position. As I say, Conan is shooting fire arrows into those enemy troops as well, causing them a lot of casualties. Remember, fire arrows don't just cause casualties, they take morale away from enemy troops as well there. So as you can see here, I'm moving my troops over slightly here, maybe allowing Legion's Sarmatian spearmen to be able to move forward there to help neutralise any more enemy cavalry attacks that come into us, as my auxiliary Palatini spear wall at the front of my battle formation now has been very greatly depleted by battle casualties there. You can see Conan's Paladin cavalry there. Now can you see he's put them into wedge formation just before he's going to attack here. Remember, these Paladins got a 10 charge bonus for more impact, more damage there. And here they come, they're going to charge through my infantry into those enemy infantry there. Get ready for this. And bang as I smash in there to the enemy troops. Even though they're attacking uphill, that 10 charge bonus, the maximum cavalry charge bonus there, is making the most of that. Look at how those Paladins are really pushing in, penetrating the enemy troops, even with an uphill attack there. That is some power there. You can see Conan's generals there, one of the paladin units there, and you can see there that he's really, even though it was uphill, really penetrated into the enemy ranks there. A nice aggressive attack there by Conan, making the most of that massive 10 cavalry charge bonus that those paladins have, plus the other specifications, the great specifications they've got as well. So that was a nice aggressive attack there. I think I'm going to charge my cavalry up there to support his cavalry as well. Maybe our allies might charge more cavalry up there as well. And I'm moving could do with moving my infantry forward as well here to support his cavalry. So that might be a good move there for us. Right, so as I say, you can see here, there you are, I'm moving my infantry forward, but here comes my cavalry trying to support Conan's cavalry there. You can see my cavalry there charging up through my infantry into the enemy ranks there, and bang, as I smash in there. You can see Legion's Sarmatian cavalry charging there as well, and bang, as I smash in there as well. So you've got a combination cavalry attack there coming in on the enemy troops there. Let's just pause the game for a second. So as I say, you can see Legion Sarmatian's noble cavalry with a 7 charge bonus coming in there. That's pretty good. You can see my cavalry charging in there as well, plus I'm moving my infantry forward. We're trying to get a foothold on this hill, and if we can, that will really help us to attack this small hill here. You can see us really pushing forward there. You can see that all our cavalry charging in there as well, causing them a heck of a lot of casualties there as we charge in up that hill. Make no mistake, Conan's archers has been attacking us, shooting at the enemy team all the time. Right now, here you can see Barclayman is moving some of his elite infantry round the flank here. Okay, now it looks to me like he's going to look to charge into the flank of Conan's infantry there, but I wonder if those infantry would have been better up on top of the hill rather than attacking the flank here. Do you think that they should have stayed up here with the hill advantage that they've got and maybe help to hold the hill there? It's all about tactical and strategic moves here, and I don't know what you guys think. Is this a good move to take it round the flank to attack the Franks, or should he have maybe left the infantry up there to help hold that hill? I guess it's just a matter of choice there. You can see Demon's Roman army over there. He may well move his infantry up on top of this hill as well, because make no mistake, the enemy under a lot of pressure here with our cavalry and infantry moving forward into them. You can see that Mantu's charged his Grail Knights forward as well. He's really smashing into the forward units of my infantry there. You can see Demon bringing his Cataphractori cavalry into the fray as well, and bang, as they smash into us there. Okay, so bad news for us, I think, here. If we look closely here, can you see that most of, you can see First Prime's cavalry has been routed here. Several units of Legion's cavalry has been routed there. Okay, you can see, I can see there, one of my cavalry units has been routed as well. The cavalry counter attack of the enemy here has really smashed into us there and have routed a lot of our attacking units. Okay, as you can see there, they've still got a slight downhill advantage, although we're pushing further and further up the hill there, as you can see. But as I say here, you can see there that the enemy are charging down there into my infantry. But as I say, I think here that Legion's moved his Bosphorus infantry up forward. Now remember, they're spear infantry, so they're going to be anti-cavalry. Right, you can see here the Franks cavalry charging again. Conan's charging those paladins in again, and bang, they smash into the enemy troops there. Nice aggressive move there by Conan with those paladin cavalry, those elite paladin cavalry there. But as I say, can you see that Legion's done a great job here in moving his Bosphorus infantry forward? Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so you can see here that Legion's got his Bosphorus infantry there. Remember, these are really tough spear units, anti-cavalry spear units. And they, of course, will neutralise any cavalry attack that the enemy put into us here. Okay, so you can see the Bosphorus infantry there. And make no mistake, these are really solid infantry with a big anti-cavalry bonus. And no matter how much those enemy charge that cavalry, and if they run into his Bosphorus infantry there, those anti-cavalry spearmen will blunt and neutralise enemy cavalry attack. So that's a nice move there by Legion. He could see that their cavalry were making inroads into our cavalry and into our infantry, so he's tactically moved his spearmen forward to help neutralise the enemy cavalry attack. Now, as I say, over here on our right flank, you can see that Barclayman's brought some of his infantry unit to attack the Franks there. Okay, you'll notice that his general unit here has been reduced dramatically from 82 men down to 36. Now I'll tell you what's done that. Legion's units there at the rear. Can you see he's got his horse archers there? And those horse archers would have been targeting him. If you notice here, all of Legion's archers, horse archers, have used their all their arrows, and they've drawn their swords now. So you can see that they have reduced the Slavs general down to a small amount of men there. So now they're going to come up against these elite Frankish troops. But as I say, I just wonder if it would have been better to keep those enemy troops up on top of the hill to help hold the hill there. But it's all a matter of choice here in this battle. Right, you can see here some of Conan's paladins here are pulling back down the hill, probably ready to lock and load and get ready to pull the trigger and charge back up here. But as I say, you can see there that Legion's anti-cavalry spearmen there are going to do really good if the enemy decide to charge their cavalry in here. There you can see there, see the spearmen there ready to receive any cavalry attack that might come their way. And make no mistake, they will neutralise there and possibly decimate any cavalry that charge in there. Right, okay, you can see Man 2 here charging his Grail Knights forward, trying to make the most of the downhill cavalry charge bonus that he's going to get. Get ready for that. He's going through his enemy, he's going through his allies' troops there, and bang! As he smashes in to those Bosporan spearmen there of Legions. You can see we're counter-attacking with our cavalry. You can see my red cavalry attacking there, and you can see First Prime's cavalry smashed in there as well, and bang, as our cavalry smash it into those enemy troops. As I say, those Bosporan spear infantry of Legions there took the enemy cavalry charge there, neutralised it. The enemy have pulled back. Looks like they're going to charge forward again here. You can see the enemy cavalry charging forward there, and bang, as they smash into our forward units there. But once again, look, Legion's spearmen there are going to neutralise. There's some more heavy enemy cavalry charging in there, and bang, as they smash in there, straight in there. But they've run straight into those anti-cavalry spearmen of Legions there. Can you see how those anti-cavalry spearmen there have absorbed that cavalry hit and are starting to inflict a lot of casualties on the enemy cavalry there? Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so you can see all this enemy cavalry and infantry charging forward there, okay, into the forward ranks there. But as you can see, Legion's Bosporan infantry, as we've talked about here, being anti-cavalry spearmen and really tough infantry as well, has absorbed those enemy cavalry attacks there, and make no mistake, would have inflicted a lot of casualties on the enemy cavalry there. So that's a nice move by Legion there, putting those spearmen in front of our forward units there to absorb cavalry hits. You can see Demon there moving forward towards First Prime's army there. But over here on our right flank, as we thought, Conan's elite Frankish troops, along with his paladins here, have routed the Slav units that Barclayman brought round here to attack him there. Okay, and also you'll see the Slavs general's been routed as well there. So that attack here on our right flank has been repelled by Conan's infantry and cavalry there. So well done to Conan for holding there. And as I say, you can see, as I say, those infantry, the enemy infantry, might have served the team better left upon the hill there to maybe help hold the hill rather than come round on that flanking attack. But as I say, it's all a matter of judgment, tactics and strategy at that moment in the battle. So as I say, you can see the enemy cavalry really trying to push into our ranks there. Look. But those spearmen, those Bosporan spearmen, really holding well, absorbing those cavalry there, cavalry attack there. Let's just pause the game for a second here, so you can see a lot of the enemy troops starting to rout. You can see the Sarmatian cavalry being charged in as well. I'm moving my infantry forward into the enemy ranks as well. So we're all attack here against those enemy troops there that are trying to push us back down the hill. But you can see, I think our numbers are going to tell here. As you can see, really pushing forward there into the enemy troops. A lot of the enemy troops are starting to rout now. We could well get a mass rout going here. And there we have it. You can see the enemy generals have been routed now. And you can see that we've managed to get a mass rout here while attacking up this small hill. So we've done really well there as a team there to try to attack this hill and manage to rout the defenders that were on top of the hill there. So it's really nice. Nice attacking there by our team there has managed to do that, I think. You can see some of the enemy demons, Roman army still fighting there, but my guess is that they all know that most of their allies have routed now, so their morale will lower and they'll probably rout quite quickly there. And you can see most of demons army there was starting to rout. They're under pressure from First Prime's infantry pushing against them there. Let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I said, you can see the last of the enemy units have now been routed there. Now bearing in mind our team was attacking up a small, okay, it's only a small hill, but we were attacking uphill, and I think we've done well there to manage to take that hill against all the downhill advantages that the enemy had there. You can see us now pushing up onto the hill, but you can see the most intense part of the battlefield was here, like if you like on the brow of the hill and coming up the hill there. This is where the most intensive part of the fighting was. As you can tell there, just by the piles of dead of cavalry and infantry there. Let's say it's the most intense part of the battlefield, going up the hill and then on the brow of the hill there, trying to push the enemy back as we move forward. Make no mistake, Conan's archers there would have been shooting loads of arrows into the enemy troops as well. I noticed he was using fire arrows to lower their morale as well as causing casualties there. So, as I say, I thought our team didn't do too badly there in attacking up a small hill and managing to win there. Bearing in mind we know all the advantages that holding the hill can have. Okay, so first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there. Well done to everybody there. And I was surprised to see that it was a clear victory. I thought it would have been average, maybe even close, bearing in mind we were attacking uphill. So to get a clear victory attacking uphill, I think is pretty good for the team, really. So let's just take you to the highest kills there. Brother, remember First Prime. Remember the firepower that his army brings. That's where he would have got most of his kills. But well done to Legion with the Sarmatians there. You don't see the Sarmatians used much in Barbarian Invasion, but look, he got the second highest kills in the game. So well done to Legion there with the Sarmatians. So well done to Brotherhood member Man 2 with his Romano-British. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there. But well done to him. Well done to Barking bringing Slavs. Got some good kills there with Slavs. Well done to Brotherhood member Late Damon. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there. And well done to Brotherhood member Demon. He probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there. But really well played, guys. That was a good grabbing, a strategic grabbing of the ground there. Grabbing that hill, give you that advantage. So well done to you guys. A good strategic move. My army probably didn't get the kills that I wanted there. Not really great kills from my army. Well done to First Prime. As I say, highest kills in the game there. Well done to him with aggressive attacking army that he always brings with so much firepower there. Well done to Legion with the Sarmatians, as I say, second highest kills in the game. Really well done to him. And well done to Conan. Possibly didn't get the kills that he wanted to, but he did really well as well there. So I just thought this was an interesting battle to show you. Attacking, okay, it's only a small hill, but attacking uphill you can sometimes win, and with a clear victory that's really surprising there. Let's say the diversity in our team, that we've got 2 Romans, Sarmatian and Franks, so that's a bit of diversity there. The enemy's got Romano, British, Slavs, Rome and Rome, so a bit of diversity there. Hope you enjoyed this battle. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.